How are you feeling today? There is a very quiet truth, yet incredibly powerful. Those who are suffering the most are often the ones who stay the most silent. And if you are here, perhaps you understand that feeling very clearly. Maybe you have just gone through a major event, a divorce that dropped you into a void with no anchor, a breakup that made you lose parts of yourself, an illness that quietly drained your life energy, or a sequence of small incidents that piled up into a mountain of pressure to the point where even you cannot understand why everything has become like this. Or maybe there was no tragedy at all. It's just that you are tired, so tired that you no longer recognize when exhaustion began consuming you. You start feeling like you are a burden, an extra in the story of your own life. You look in the mirror and see some version of yourself silent, useless, small, and you do not remember when you became that. Or maybe you are not at the point of despair, but sometimes, in the middle of the night, a thought flickers in, then fades, then comes back. It's not that you want to end everything. It's just that you want to rest. Just a little, a moment without having to endure. Those thoughts do not make you weak. They only prove one thing. You have been trying for far too long in silence. What hurts the most is when you have to face everything alone without anyone truly understanding what you are carrying. You want someone to notice, you want someone to listen, but you do not know where to begin, or you do not believe your feelings are important enough to be spoken aloud. And right at the intersection between wanting to be saved and not wanting to trouble anyone, you start slipping into a shadow zone that no one can see with the naked eye. But there is something I want you to hear very clearly, right here in this very minute. You are not a burden. You are simply someone who has been carrying too much pain alone, and you do not need to continue alone anymore. There is one very important truth that almost no one is brave enough to say. Suicide is not selfish. It is the desperate cry of a soul that has endured too much pain in silence. Understanding this truth is the first step toward untying the deepest knots in your mind. There is a belief that has existed for a very long time, a belief both mistaken and cruel, that those who want to end their life are selfish. But when you look closely into human psychology, you see the opposite. No one chooses death because they disregard everything. They choose it because, in that moment, they believe the pain has surpassed their ability to bear it, and what they want to escape from is not life. What they want to escape from is the agony that cannot be put into words. David Foster Wallace once described this with an image that makes anyone who hears it choke up. If a house is on fire, you can die in the flames, or jump from the window. And when the flames get close enough, a person no longer sees any option other than jumping, not because they want to fall, but because they do not want to burn. Someone in despair is not blind. They are simply trapped in a room with no oxygen left to breathe. What weighs down their heart is not the desire to leave, but the feeling, I don't want to hurt anymore. And if you have ever had moments like that, please understand this clearly. It is not a sign of weakness, and it is not something shameful. It is simply the natural response of a human being forced to carry too much in silence. Suicide is not selfish. It is the desperate warning signal of a soul that has reached its limit. But within this painful truth lies something even more important, something that can change the way you see yourself and your despair. Pain is not a sentence, and the feeling of having no way out is not the truth. Pain only blurs your ability to see other options. It does not erase them. And right at this moment, when you think you have hit bottom, you are actually closer than ever to the doorway out of the darkness. What is most frightening is not the pain, but the way the pain narrows your ability to perceive truth. No one can stay clear-headed when their heart is being squeezed every day. No one can stay rational when emotions are compressed to the point where it feels like someone is grabbing your chest with both hands. And in that state, the brain begins collapsing in all possible directions until it projects only one single image. There is probably no other choice. This is not you. This is your brain drowning in exhaustion. Researchers call this narrowed consciousness, a form of perceptual tunnel where you can see only the pain and no longer see any other possibility, even though those options still exist right in front of you. It is like standing in a dark room with only one flashlight illuminating a very small corner. Everything outside that tiny beam, including hope, solutions, connection, and opportunity, gets swallowed by the darkness, making you believe they no longer exist. But reality is different. It is not that the options disappear, you are just temporarily unable to see them. Just like eyes blinded by harsh light, a mind under extreme pain loses its ability to widen its field of vision. This is biology, not your character or willpower. When the brain is under too much stress, the emotional processing region becomes overactive. The rational processing region weakens. The ability to imagine the future fades, and only one goal remains: immediate relief from pain. It is not that you want to give up life. You are simply trying to escape the storm that is swallowing you. There is one important thing that must be said here. The feeling of having no way out is not proof that there truly is no way out. It is just the biological reaction of a brain too tired to see the full picture. Understanding this is like turning on another light in the dark room. It does not make the pain disappear, but it allows you to see that there are still other paths the darkness has hidden. And at the moment you recognize that even faintly, you have already taken a small but extraordinarily important step out of the tunnel. There is something very important that few people say directly. When you are at the bottom of despair, you do not need a 10-year plan. You only need to survive today, just today. Tomorrow will be tomorrow's problem. When your mind is overflowing with pain, you do not need to carry the entire future on your shoulders. And right at this moment, there is a truth that sounds paradoxical, yet incredibly freeing. Suicide is an option, but it is not the only option. This statement does not encourage, does not push. It is simply to give back what you have lost, the right to choose. When the pain is too much, the brain makes you believe there is only one exit. But in reality, in that darkest moment, you still have many exits. Your mind is simply too blurred to see them yet. Therefore, the first thing you need to do is not to fight, not to stay strong, not to pretend you are okay. What you need to do is simply slow down. Take a breath, sit down, place your hand on your chest, and whisper, "Not now. Let me think a little more." None of us can know the future with certainty. No one has the right to declare that everything to come will be worse than now. That is an illusion created by pain. And because you cannot see all possibilities, try something very small but incredibly important. Keep yourself for one more day. Just one. Tomorrow, the pain may still be there. But tomorrow, a new piece of information, a message from a friend, an unexpected phone call, something inside you shifting, might also appear. You do not need overflowing hope, just enough to delay, to step away from making a permanent decision in a temporary moment. If you can write, try writing down 3 things. What is hurting you the most? What is exhausting you the most? And any option, no matter how naive, no matter how small, that might ease today's pressure. Not to solve everything, but to remind yourself, your brain is what is narrowed, not your life. As long as you can keep yourself together tonight, everything else we will slowly untangle. There is something many people endure in silence without even realizing it. Loneliness does not kill with one stab. It erodes you slowly, day by day. You may have gotten used to no one understanding you, used to the feeling of not wanting to trouble anyone, used to holding everything in to preserve a fragile sense of peace, so used to it that you believe you must endure alone. But the truth is, one of the most dangerous factors leading to the desire to disappear is isolation, not sadness, not failure, not pressure, but the fact that you have to carry everything by yourself. The heartbreaking part is that many people, even while drowning in despair, still do not dare send a message or call someone. Not because they do not want help, but because they believe their pain is not worth mentioning, that others will think they are weak, that everyone is busy with their own life. But here is something you need to know. Right here, right now. You are judging yourself more harshly than anyone else. You think others will look down on you? No, you are the one looking down on your own feelings first. You think others will not understand? Maybe, but that does not make your feelings any less important. Do you think others are too busy to listen? Maybe they truly are busy, but there will always be someone for whom simply hearing you speak is enough to break the layer of silence that has been tormenting you all this time. A major study shows the fewer people share, the higher the risk. Not because they are weaker, but because pain that is not spoken aloud is always stronger than pain that someone understands. And here is something many people do not know. When you send a message, when you open your mouth, when you say, "I am not okay today," you are not just asking for help. You are opening an exit in your mind, a small crack of light, but strong enough to break the structure of despair. Despair is powerful only when you stay silent. It weakens the moment you begin to speak. So if you are hesitating between sending a message or staying silent, between sharing or continuing to endure, ask yourself, what is worse, the pain I am carrying or letting someone know I am hurting? You may be surprised to realize just saying one sentence, "Today I feel like I can't breathe," is enough to make the weight pressing on your heart shift even just a little. And sometimes, just that little is enough to save a human life. There are phases in a human life where pain no longer comes in waves. It stays, smolders, creeps in. Like a dark room you have been in for so long, you begin to forget that there is still light outside. You wake up with a heart heavy as stone. You walk as if carrying an entire mountain on your shoulders. You practice smiling, practice acting fine, and practice saying the lines, "It's okay, I'm used to it." But inside, you are breaking apart piece by piece. Pain, when it lasts too long, begins to form a cocoon, wrapping tightly around your mind, not because you are weak, but because the human soul can only endure to a certain threshold before it begins seeking a way out at any cost. You find yourself irritable more often, unable to sleep, empty, resigned, or sometimes it appears as a very thin, very faint, very hard to name desire just to rest a little. It is not that you want to disappear. You just want the pain to stop. But the most dangerous part of this phase, it is not the pain, it is the silence you force yourself to carry. You do not tell anyone. You fear being judged, fear of bothering others, fear of being seen as weak, fear not being understood. And because of that, you try to endure. What you do not know is this. It is the prolonged silence that suffocates you the most. Many studies show that when a person is cut off from connection, when they feel isolated and trapped in a kind of pain they cannot speak about, the mind begins to see extreme exits as reasonable solutions. Not because you want to end everything, but because you no longer see any other way. But here is what you need to hear gently, without judgment. No one on this earth was born to carry everything alone. Not here. Not now. Not you. If somewhere inside you there is a small tapping, saying, maybe I should tell someone, then that is not weakness. It is your soul's survival instinct trying to open a crack of light. And just one small crack is enough for the light to seep in. There is a truth very few people know. And if you are hurting, you need to know this more than anyone else. Many decisions to end everything happen in just a few impulsive minutes. Not months, not weeks, just minutes. A very quick slip of emotion, enough to make the mind lose control. And the most dangerous part is this. When emotion peaks, the brain can no longer distinguish between a temporary moment and a permanent action. People who reach that point are often not acting after deep thought. They are drowning in a whirlpool of anger, pain, panic, emptiness, or sometimes just an eruption of emotions suppressed for too long. You may have experienced that feeling. A moment when pain tightens around your throat, your heart pounds as if trying to escape your chest, and the thought, what if, flashes like lightning. It is not because you want to die. It is because your mind is falling into a state of neural overload, emotional overload. When emotions surge too strongly, awareness shrinks, and awareness shrinks. Rationality gets pushed aside. Behavior becomes impulsive. Self-control drops to a dangerous level. And here is what pulls millions into this vortex without understanding why. That impulsive moment is often triggered by alcohol, substances, or prolonged self-isolation. Alcohol, especially drinking alone, is present in most suicide cases. Not because the person wanted to, but because alcohol numbs emotions exactly when they need clarity the most. It numbs the pain, but also numbs thinking, makes you impulsive, makes you more hopeless, reduces your ability to inhibit actions. A combination too perfect for tragedy. But the most important truth must be said gently and humanely. You did not drink to destroy your life. You drank because at one time it was the only way you knew to survive. That fact does not make you worse. It only proves that you have tried in the way you could, at a time when you were too hurt to choose differently. But now, if you are reaching a dangerous threshold, what you need is not to blame yourself. What you need is to put the drink down just for today. Not forever. Not for life. Just today. Because today, you need clarity more than any other day. You are at a stage where 5 minutes can pull you toward the darkness. But those same 5 minutes, if guided in the right direction, can save you. And from this awareness that your mind is being threatened by an impulsive reflex, not by a desire to end things, you begin to regain a little control. Just a little, but enough to make you stop. Enough for you to take another breath. Enough for you to live another day. There is something everyone who has stood at the edge understands deeply. Surviving a storm does not mean the sky will clear immediately. You may have survived a difficult night. You may have held yourself through the scariest moment. But when sunrise comes, the pain does not vanish. It is still there, quiet, lingering, clinging to you like a shadow. And sometimes, the scariest part is not the first time you nearly let go, but the haunting question, will it come back? Will I have enough strength each time it does? This is the moment you need to enter a new journey. A journey of protection, not just survival. Not stay positive. Not move on. Not pretend you're fine, but a very human, very practical, very important process, which is finding a life worth living enough that desperation no longer has ground to cling to. The first step in this journey is something simple yet extremely difficult: naming what in your life feels unbearable. No circling around it, no denial, no avoiding. Ask yourself gently, what hurts me the most? What exhausts me? What have I been forced to endure all this time? And then, once you have named the pain, the next step is to look at the 3 fundamental needs every human being requires in order to feel that life is worth continuing. First, autonomy, the feeling of living your own life. Are you living according to what you want, or are you living a life chasing the expectations of others? So much despair begins at the moment we lose our sense of self-direction without realizing it. Second, relatedness, the feeling of belonging, the feeling of being connected. Humans cannot stay alone forever. Even the strongest souls need someone to touch them with understanding even once. A life lacking connection will always fall into the abyss more easily than we imagine. Third, competence, the feeling that you can do something, not a grand success, just something small that makes you feel, I can do this. A tiny step, a sense of agency, a moment of flow. Those small things are the thread that pulls you away from despair. Many people believe that to escape suffering, they need a huge transformation. But the truth is very different. Life does not need to flip overnight. It only needs to tilt a few degrees to open a new path. When you begin naming the pain, when you begin rebuilding those 3 essential foundations, you will find yourself no longer trapped in the tunnel of despair. Your field of vision widens. Your breath loosens. The door of tomorrow cracks open just a little, but enough for light to slip in. This is not a fast process, not a straight path, but it is the first road leading you out of the long shadow of pain. At some point, anyone who has heard enough to want to disappear will ask themselves the same question. If everything is this bad, then why should I stay? This is not a shallow question, nor a weak one. It is a question only those who have walked through the deepest darkness are brave enough to face. And here is something you must know, something so important it can change the way you view your entire life. No one but you can answer this question, but you also do not have to answer it right now. Viktor Frankl, a concentration camp survivor, once said, "Do not ask what the meaning of life is. Let life ask you, what is the meaning of your life?" This may sound abstract, but it is actually very close to the experience of those in despair. When your mind is crushed, when the future is blurred, you find yourself standing before a question bigger than you expected. There is a truth few people know. The despairing are not people who fail to understand the meaning of life. On the contrary, they sense its emptiness more sharply than anyone else. They see the question, they hear it echoing, but the pain leaves them too drained to answer. And then, in the most desperate moments, consciousness becomes extremely narrow. The brain no longer sees family, future, responsibility, belief. It sees only one point: how do I stop hurting? Research on people who survived after almost crossing that line reveals something strange but beautiful. In the moment they believed there was no other path, one very small thing, a sudden sound, a ray of light, a stranger appearing at the right moment, an image of their mother, their friends, their pet, or just one sentence slipping into their ears, broke the narrowed state of consciousness. And all they heard in their mind was, not yet, not I want to live, not I've found meaning, simply not now. And that tiny moment, the moment no one expects, saved them. Life sometimes does not need a grand reason. It only needs something very small to hold you back. A breath, a sensation, an image, a memory, a whisper. And from that not now, Life will slowly show you the reasons that today you are not strong enough to see. You do not need to know why you must continue. Not today. Not in the thickness of this pain. You only need enough gentleness to say, I will stay one more day to see what life wants to tell me. That is not running away. That is courage. And sometimes, those who think they are the weakest are the ones carrying a resilience they never knew they had. When a storm passes, people often think the scariest part was the storm itself. But those who have stood in its eye know the scariest part is the moment after, when you must face yourself. No more adrenaline, no more panic to distract you. Only a silent space where you begin to ask, what will become of me? Do I have enough strength? Can I survive one more day? And here is what I want you to hear with your whole heart, not as advice, but as a small truth whispered to me by those who return from the edge. Living is not about finding answers immediately. Living is daring to move forward even without answers. Life in all its brutality and tenderness does not require you to understand everything right now. It only asks one small thing, to be here for one more day. One day to see something you did not see yesterday. One day to receive a message you did not get to read. One day for someone to step into your life whom you did not expect. One day for your heart, perhaps, to feel just a little lighter. You do not need to believe in the future. You only need enough belief to take each step. Small steps. Slow, but real. The theologian Juan de la Cruz once said, "The soul travels the farthest when it walks in darkness on paths it has never known." This means, right when you see nothing, you are actually traveling the farthest. And then there will come a moment, not because you forced it, but because you stayed long enough, when you realize something very quietly yet powerfully happening inside you. You are no longer the person you were yesterday, not stronger, not happier, not more okay, just different. A little, but different. The cracks you once thought were the end become the places where light finds its way in. Leonard Cohen was right. Where there is a crack, that's where the light gets in. And if you are hearing these words, whether in exhaustion, confusion, or silence, then you have done something you have not recognized. You chose to stay. You chose to listen. You chose one more moment in this world. Just that is enough for the light to come a little closer. And who knows, gently, tomorrow, that light may not only slip in through the cracks, but begin to spread. You have come this far, so why not see what happens next? And that's the content of this episode. If you feel a sense of resonance with these reflections, don't forget to follow the channel and stay tuned for the upcoming episodes. See you soon. Bye.